The vast blackness of space stretched endlessly, dotted with dying stars and shattered asteroids. A massive alien fleet patrolled the war-torn system of Caloria, its ships glinting coldly under the pale light of a distant sun. Thousands of alien soldiers crowded the bridges and corridors of their warships, each one trained for battle, each one certain of humanity's weakness. "They are nothing," growled Commander Vaylor, his eyes scanning the fleet's tactical display. "Humans are soft, emotional, useless in real war." "Agreed," hissed Lieutenant Rakkar. "They cry when they lose friends. They fight without reason. Their species cannot survive against us." The aliens laughed, a harsh, echoing sound that bounced off the steel walls of the command ship. They had studied humans for decades and concluded the same thing. Humans were fragile. Their wars were small, disorganized, and fueled by emotions. No human ship could ever threaten their empire. But the universe had a strange way of proving arrogance wrong. From the shadows of a ruined planet, a small human ship appeared. It was nothing like the alien vessels, slender, compact, old by alien standards, but it moved with a confidence that startled even the seasoned aliens. Its hull shimmered in the weak light, carrying the scars of countless battles, yet it sailed steadily as if the universe itself guided it. "What is that?" muttered an officer, eyes widening. "Just a scout," said Commander Vaylor with a sneer. "Pathetic. They'll break in minutes." The humans laughed, or at least the aliens imagined they would. The tiny ship approached the planet with a strange calm, sending out a soft pulsing signal. It was unlike anything the alien sensors had ever detected. Machines began to twitch. Systems blinked and beeped in confusion. "Commander, the signal, it's affecting our machinery," said an engineer nervously. His clawed hands shook as screens flickered and alarms whispered warnings. Vaylor's sneer faltered for the first time. "Impossible," he whispered. "No human technology should do this." On the bridge of the small human ship, Commander Rin Hale stood silently. His uniform was torn, his face bruised from recent skirmishes, but his eyes burned with calm determination. He touched the console gently and the ship responded, sending the strange signal across the battlefield. He did not laugh. He did not panic. He acted with purpose. Back on the alien flagship, chaos began to grow. Sensors picked up unexpected energy fluctuations. Weapon systems misfired. Communication arrays stuttered. Crew members shouted, trying to understand what was happening, but nothing made sense. Vaylor slammed a clawed hand against the console. "Shut it down. Shut the signal down," he roared, but the human's signal continued, persistent and unyielding. Rin's voice echoed softly through his ship's speakers, calm and clear. "We do not wish for war. We only wish to be heard." The aliens froze. No one had ever spoken to them this way. They expected aggression. They expected fear. But not mercy, not clarity. Suddenly, the small human ship released another pulse. Alien shields flickered, weapons paused mid-charge, and entire systems went dark for a few terrifying moments. Panic swept through the fleet like fire through dry grass. The humans were doing something impossible. "Commander," stammered the engineer, They are interfering with our systems." Without even firing. Vaylor's eyes burned with anger and confusion. "Humans. You will pay for this insolence," he growled. But even as he spoke, doubt crept into his mind. Could these fragile beings truly be capable of this? The small human ship moved closer to the destroyed planet. Debris floated silently in orbit, remnants of battles long past. Rin's eyes scanned the horizon, looking for survivors. He did not see enemies, only the wreckage of a civilization caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. He activated his ship's scanning beams, searching for life, for any being who might still need help. The aliens watched in disbelief as the human ship sent out more pulses, not of attack but of signal, of life, of mercy. Machines continued to malfunction around them, and yet the humans did not take advantage of the chaos. They simply acted. "Impossible," whispered Vaylor again. "How can they be so calm, so merciful?" Rin's voice came again, steady and quiet. "War is not the only answer. Mercy can be stronger than steel. Compassion can be stronger than weapons." Silence fell across the alien bridge. No one moved. No one spoke. For the first time, they began to question everything they thought they knew. The humans they had studied, laughed at, and dismissed were something entirely different. Something terrifying, something powerful. And in that moment, A single thought spread through every mind on the alien flagship. Perhaps they had underestimated humanity. Perhaps they had already lost. The small human ship drifted silently above the ruined surface of Caloria. Fires from past battles still burned in scattered pockets across the planet, casting an eerie glow on jagged rocks and shattered cities. Commander Rin Hale looked down at the devastation. He did not see enemies. He saw survivors, lives caught between the flames of war, forgotten by their own kind. His crew moved with precision, quietly preparing supplies. Every crate, every ration, every piece of equipment was accounted for. Despite the scars on their faces and the pain in their bodies, the humans worked calmly. They were tired, wounded, but unwavering. Below them, in the shadow of a collapsed building, small shapes stirred. Alien refugees. Weak, trembling, and frightened, they peeked through the debris. These were not soldiers, not warriors. They were the innocent. Children, elders, families who had survived only because the war had overlooked them. A small alien child, no more than 7 cycles old, stepped forward, clutching a tattered blanket. Its eyes were wide, filled with fear and wonder. The child's thin hands shook as it reached for Rin's ship, unsure if these humans were saviors or another threat. Rin knelt near the viewport, keeping his hands raised, showing no weapons. "We are not here to hurt you," he said softly. "We are here to help." The child hesitated, then slowly approached. Rin pressed a button, and a small crate descended from the ship. It contained rations, clean water, and medical supplies. The child's eyes widened as it realized the humans were giving, not asking for anything in return. From a distance, other aliens watched in disbelief. Soldiers and scouts had tracked the human ship, expecting violence, but instead, they saw mercy. They saw humans helping beings they had always considered enemies. Lieutenant Rakkar, observing from the alien flagship, hissed through clenched teeth. This is impossible. They are giving food to the weak. They are kind." Commander Vaylor's claws tightened around the console. "Humans do not act like this. They must have an agenda. Prepare to attack if they move," but Rin did not move to attack. Instead, he activated the ship's scanning beams, searching for other survivors. Injured aliens were dragged carefully to safety, carried to small evacuation pods where humans tended to their wounds. Every action was precise, every gesture gentle. One alien mother, exhausted and shaking, stared at Rin. Her child had been injured in the rubble. She had expected humans to ignore them or, worse, attack. But here they were, offering healing, food, and safety. She whispered a soft word of thanks in her alien tongue. Rin nodded, understanding more than words could convey. Then something strange happened. The small child from before spoke, its voice trembling but clear. Rin froze. He had never met this child. The name was correct. How could it know him? His brow furrowed. I don't know you," he said carefully. The child's eyes glowed faintly as if holding a secret, but there was no time to dwell on it. Alien scouts had begun scanning the area, observing the humans. Some of them whispered among themselves, confusion and fear mingling in their voices. Humans were supposed to be weak. Humans were supposed to flee, beg, or fight only when cornered. Yet here they were, calm, generous, and unafraid. Rin motioned to his crew. "Keep moving. There may be more who need help." Another group of refugees emerged from the shadows. Older aliens, men and women who had lost everything, looked at the humans with a mixture of fear and hope. The humans distributed supplies quickly, treating every individual with respect. Each act, simple as it seemed, carried a weight that no alien had expected. Back on the alien flagship, Vaylor's fury was growing. "Why are they helping?" he demanded. "Why do they not attack? What is their purpose?" Lieutenant Rakkar shook his head, unease creeping into his voice. "I do not know, Commander. Every action, it is unlike anything we have ever seen. Their mercy, it is powerful." Vaylor's claws raked the console in frustration. He had studied humanity for decades. He had watched their wars, their conflicts, their failures. He knew their weaknesses. And yet none of that prepared him for this. Mercy, compassion. Humans were turning it into a weapon stronger than any fleet or weapon system. The humans continued their work. Evacuation pods carried survivors away, shields flickering to protect them from unstable debris. Rin's crew worked in silence, but their actions spoke louder than any words. For every alien saved, for every hand held, The humans were sending a message across the stars. Strength was not only measured in weapons or armies, it was measured in courage, in kindness, in the willingness to protect even those who might call you an enemy. And the galaxy was watching. The small child's whisper returned, almost lost in the wind. Rin looked down at the fragile being. His heart tightened. Somehow in the midst of this chaos he felt a connection, a sense that the whispers of humans' mercy spread faster than any weapon fire across the shattered planets of Caloria. Alien scouts reported the impossible, humans helping beings they had always considered enemies. Commanders on multiple fleets could not believe their sensors or their eyes. "Commander Valor," hissed Lieutenant Rakkar, his tone a mixture of fear and disbelief. "They are helping them, not attacking. Not taking advantage, they are saving them." Valor slammed a clawed hand against the console, the metal bending slightly under his grip. "Impossible," he growled. "No species should be capable of this. They are weak, emotional, they cannot influence the outcome of war." Yet the human's actions spoke louder than his anger. On the ruined surface, Commander Rin Hale stood atop the charred remains of a collapsed building, looking over the alien refugees he had saved. Mothers clutched their children, elders sat weakly on the rubble, and soldiers, those who had survived but were too injured to fight, watched the humans with awe and suspicion. Rin did not see enemies here. He saw lives in danger. He saw hope waiting to be restored. His crew moved efficiently, tending to the wounded and organizing the evacuation of the survivors. Every ration, every bandage, every word of comfort was given without question. Humans did not demand allegiance, did not threaten with violence, did not expect anything in return. They simply acted. Some of the aliens could not understand. One small patrol of soldiers hid in a broken tower, observing silently. They had trained to kill, to conquer, to take advantage of weakness. Instead, they saw humans treating the weak with respect. The soldiers whispered among themselves, voices trembling. Why are they doing this?" Even the machine seemed confused. Sensors monitoring the humans recorded unusual energy patterns emanating from their ship and crew. Communications arrays misfired, shields wavered, and navigation systems fluctuated. The aliens had never seen anything like this. It was as if the humans' compassion itself was affecting the universe around them. Rin paused as a small alien child approached. Its eyes glowed faintly, a soft luminescence that hinted at something beyond understanding. "Rin," the child whispered again. He knelt to meet its gaze. "I don't know you," he said softly, "but you are safe. That is what matters." The child hesitated, then smiled faintly. Somehow it understood. Somehow it trusted him. As the humans continued their work, news spread across alien networks. Word of the humans' mercy reached fleets orbiting other planets, sent by rogue scouts who had witnessed it firsthand. Alien leaders began to argue among themselves. "They cannot be just humans," one commander said in disbelief. "No species is capable of such calm, such generosity in the midst of war. They are unnatural. They are dangerous," another replied. "Not with weapons, but with their hearts. Their compassion, it makes us question ourselves." Back on Caloria, Rin's crew moved the last of the refugees into evacuation pods. Children clutched tightly to humans who had saved them, crying tears of relief. Adults stared in amazement, unable to comprehend why the humans risked everything for them. Rin watched them silently, heart heavy with both sorrow and hope. "We cannot save everyone," he murmured, "but we can save some. And sometimes, saving one life is enough to change the course of many." Above, alien sensors flickered once more. The human signals interacted with alien technology in unpredictable ways. Systems failed, weapons locked down, and ships spun out of alignment. Engineers on multiple fleets struggled to maintain control. How could mere humans without overwhelming numbers or destructive weapons cause such disruption? Valor's anger burned hotter than ever. "They are mocking us," he shouted. "This is an attack in disguise." Lieutenant Rakkar hesitated. "Commander, perhaps it is not an attack, perhaps it is a force we cannot fight with weapons." Valor froze. The thought was terrifying. A species with no apparent strength could influence entire fleets, entire systems without firing a single shot. Could mercy be more powerful than war? Could compassion become a weapon stronger than steel? The human ship hovered above the ruins. Rin's voice echoed through the comm system, calm and unwavering. "War is not the only way to change the universe. Mercy, understanding, courage. These are as strong as any fleet. Protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is the true power of humanity. The aliens stared in disbelief. Systems blinked, machines sputtered, and fleets hesitated. None of their training, none of their experience had prepared them for this. Humans were not weak. Humans were something new, something unpredictable, something terrifying. Even among the aliens, small acts of curiosity began. Scouts dared to approach the humans, hiding in shadows but watching. Some began to question their orders. Could the humans' actions be right? Could their compassion be more effective than any weapon? Rin continued his work, unaware of the storm he had caused across the galaxy. He focused only on the weak, the injured, the helpless. Every life saved sent ripples across Caloria and far beyond. What the aliens did not yet understand was this. Every act of mercy created a chain reaction. Every life preserved, every hand held, every injured being healed was a message. A message that humanity was not to be underestimated, and the galaxy was beginning to listen. Valor paced the bridge of his flagship, rage and fear mixing in his chest. We have fought countless species, he growled. We have crushed armies, burned worlds, destroyed civilizations. And yet, these humans, they are changing everything. With kindness. Rakar swallowed hard, his eyes fixed on the distant human ship. They are not just humans anymore, Commander, he whispered. They are a force, and we do not understand them. Rin Hale did not know that the aliens were watching so closely. He did not know that each act of mercy sent tremors across the galaxy, shaking the pride and certainty of countless civilizations. He only knew that the right thing to do was to help those who could not help themselves. And sometimes, doing the right thing was the most dangerous act of all. The humans' acts of mercy had spread like wildfire across Caloria. Every alien ship that monitored the planet reported the impossible. Humans helping, healing, and saving beings they had always considered enemies. Whispers of their deeds reached even the highest councils of the alien empire. Commander Valor slammed his clawed fists against the console of the flagship. His eyes burned with fury and disbelief. How can they do this? He roared. They have no weapons to rival ours. They have no fleets large enough to threaten our power. And yet, they are changing the battlefield without firing a shot. Lieutenant Rakar hesitated before speaking. Commander, maybe it is not about strength. Maybe it is something else. Their actions, they are unnerving. Valor's gaze narrowed. Unnerving? He spat. This is war. There is no room for kindness in war. They will pay for this insolence. Send the strike teams. Force them to surrender. Below, on the surface, Commander Rin Hale continued his work. He and his crew moved from one group of survivors to another, tending to the wounded and organizing supplies. Every movement was deliberate, every decision careful, yet no trace of fear appeared in his eyes. Humans did not panic in the face of danger. They adapted. They observed. They acted with purpose. A squad of alien soldiers descended to the planet, weapons raised, intending to intimidate the humans into surrender. They were experienced, ruthless, and confident that no human could resist them. Rin noticed them immediately. He did not draw a weapon. He did not flee. Instead, he raised his hand slowly, signaling peace. His voice was calm, echoing across the broken landscape. We do not wish to fight you, he said simply. We only want to help those who cannot help themselves. The soldiers froze, confused by the lack of aggression. They had expected humans to panic, to beg, or to attack. Instead, these humans stood firm, calm, and focused. Something about their presence was unsettling. Commander, one of the soldiers muttered to his superior. They are different. They are not afraid. They do not even seem human in the way we understand. Valor watched through live feeds, his claws tightening. They are mocking us, he growled. Do not let them distract you. Attack if they move an inch out of line. But the humans did not move toward violence. Rin stepped forward and extended medical supplies to the nearest alien soldier. Hesitation flashed across the soldier's face. No one had ever offered him aid without a threat or demand in return. Slowly, almost unwillingly, he accepted. A ripple of confusion spread through the squad. They had been trained for obedience, for violence, for conquest, but not for mercy. Every act of kindness the humans showed undermined their certainty, their training, their confidence. Meanwhile, the human signals continued to interact strangely with alien technology. Shields flickered. Weapons misfired. Communication scrambled. Engineers on multiple fleets scrambled to regain control, but the anomalies persisted. Humans were not using traditional warfare. They were using something far more subtle and terrifying: strategy, intelligence, and compassion. Baylor's face darkened. Humans, you may be weak in body, but your minds, your hearts, they are weapons, and we do not understand them. Rin observed the soldiers, noting their hesitation. He spoke quietly, in a tone that carried authority without aggression. You have been told we are weak, that we cannot fight, that we are fragile. You have been taught to fear only what is strong. But strength is not only measured in steel and fire. Straya. The galaxy watched in disbelief. Word of the humans' mercy had spread beyond Caloria, reaching distant fleets and planets where alien commanders debated what they had seen. A small crew of humans, battered and bruised, had managed to save thousands of lives without firing a single shot, without demanding allegiance, without threatening anyone. Commander Rin Hale stood atop a ruined tower, surveying the survivors. Fires from destroyed cities still burned, and the air carried the acrid scent of smoke and metal. Yet amidst the ruin there was hope. Children clung to their parents, soldiers tended to each other's wounds, and for the first time, fear seemed to lose its grip. Rin turned to his crew. Keep moving. Every life matters. Every choice matters. As humans worked tirelessly, alien scouts and observers watched in disbelief. They had expected aggression, weakness, or panic, but instead, they witnessed something alien to every warrior's mind: humanity's unwavering commitment to compassion. On the alien flagship, Commander Vaylor fumed. His claws slammed against the console, shaking it violently. How can this be happening? He roared. We have crushed fleets, burned planets, and conquered civilizations. And yet, these humans are changing everything. With mercy. Lieutenant Rakkar hesitated before speaking. Commander, they are stronger than we imagined. Not in numbers, not in firepower, but in influence. Every act of mercy creates doubt in our ranks. Every life saved makes our soldiers question us. Vaylor's eyes narrowed. They are turning the tide without fighting. They are teaching them. They are shaping minds while we rely on weapons. Impossible. Meanwhile, Rin noticed another group of alien refugees trapped in the rubble of a collapsed building. Among them were women, children, and elderly survivors. Without hesitation, he organized a rescue operation. Humans formed chains, lifting debris, guiding the injured to safety and giving them water and food. Every movement was precise yet gentle. Every gesture carried meaning, and every life saved sent ripples across the planet. The alien soldiers, observing from a distance, whispered among themselves. Why do they do this? One asked. They could destroy us, but they choose not to. They are not weak, another replied. They are something else. Something terrifying. Rin's crew moved efficiently, ensuring no one was left behind. Each evacuation pod carried survivors away from the chaos, and shields protected them from the unstable ruins. The human signals continued to interfere with alien technology. Ships spun, shields faltered, and weapons locked down. The aliens could not understand it. Mercy had become a force of its own. Amidst the chaos, a small child, glowing faintly as before, approached Rin. Its eyes held recognition, trust, and something deeper, something ancient and unknowable. Rin, the child whispered. He knelt beside it. You are safe, he said softly. We will not leave anyone behind. The child's gaze seemed to pierce the veil of fear and hatred. Somehow in this fragile being, Rin saw the beginning of a change that could affect the galaxy itself. Above, alien fleets hesitated. Commanders argued endlessly over what to do. Attack? Retreat? Observe? Every decision seemed flawed in the presence of humans' mercy. Even soldiers who had been trained to obey without question now questioned themselves. Vaylor banged the console. Stop them. Stop these humans! We cannot allow them to change the minds of our people. But it was too late. Humans did not need to attack. Their mercy had already done what weapons could not. Every rescued alien, every saved life, and every small act of compassion had created doubt, hesitation, and fear. They had created a chain reaction that no fleet or commander could control. On the surface, Rin organized one final evacuation. Fires were extinguished, debris cleared, and survivors guided to safe zones. Soldiers who had watched silently now assisted. unsure if they were allies or pawns in a larger plan. The humans did not command them, they inspired them. Rin looked up at the alien fleets above and spoke quietly to his crew. They will learn, one life, one act at a time. We are not here to conquer. We are here to show what is right. Even as the humans worked, the signals from their ship pulsed across Caloria. Alien shields flickered and weapons systems malfunctioned repeatedly. It was as if the humans' compassion itself disrupted technology, turning fear into uncertainty, aggression into hesitation. Vaylor's face darkened as he realized the truth. They are not just humans anymore, he growled. They are a force that cannot be stopped with weapons. They fight with mercy, and we do not understand it. Rin Hale did not know the full impact of his actions. He only knew that helping those who could not help themselves was the right thing to do. Every child saved, every soldier spared, every life protected was a step toward a new reality. By the time the last refugees were safely aboard evacuation pods, the alien fleets were paralyzed by uncertainty. No one dared make a move. Humans had turned the tide, not with weapons, not with firepower, but with courage, mercy, and intelligence, and somewhere deep in the galaxy, the ripple of humans' actions began to reach other worlds, inspiring those who had long been taught that fear and war were the only answers. The unexpected war had changed again. The battlefield was no longer just the ruined cities and burning planets. It was now in the hearts and minds of every being watching humans act with strength, kindness, and unshakable courage. Mercy, it seemed, was humanity's greatest weapon, and it was more powerful than any alien fleet. The galaxy had begun to shift. Across countless systems, alien fleets and civilizations had watched the events on Caloria unfold. What had started as a small human mission to help the innocent had become a force that no empire could ignore. Humanity's mercy had rippled outward, shaking pride, fear, and certainty across the stars. Commander Rin Hale stood at the helm of his ship, overlooking the survivors' evacuation. Children clung to their parents. Soldiers helped the wounded, and even some alien observers previously trained to attack now hesitated. They watched humans act not with fear, not with vengeance, but with purpose and compassion. Above them, alien fleets hovered, frozen in disbelief. Commander Vaylor's claws trembled as he stared at the human ship. They have no fear. They fight without weapons. They conquer without violence. This is not supposed to be possible, he muttered almost to himself. Lieutenant Rokkar's voice wavered. Commander, we have trained for centuries, and we have destroyed countless species. And yet, these humans, they are changing the universe with something we cannot fight. Mercy. The human signals pulsed across the planet and into the fleet. Alien machines misfired, shields fluctuated, and communication arrays struggled to operate. No one could understand it, yet everyone could feel it. Humans were altering the battlefield in ways that had nothing to do with weapons, fleets, or brute force. Rin's eyes scanned the surface below. Fires were dying, rubble cleared, and the survivors moved toward temporary safe zones. Each life saved carried a quiet weight, a message sent without words. Humanity will not abandon the helpless. Every small act of kindness had become a force more powerful than any weapon in the galaxy. The small alien child who had whispered his name before approached once again. Its glow was faint but steady, a symbol of hope amidst destruction. Rin, it said softly, its voice carrying more meaning than words could express. Rin knelt beside it. You are safe now, he said gently, and we will continue to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Across Caloria, alien soldiers who had been trained to kill without hesitation began questioning their orders. Confusion spread among ranks, uncertainty weakened commanders, and hesitation crippled fleets. Humans had done what no weapon, no fleet, and no empire could accomplish. They had made aliens doubt their own convictions. Vaylor's voice trembled with fury and fear. They are not just humans. They are a force, a storm we cannot stop. They are shaping the galaxy without a single shot fired. We cannot fight this. We cannot control this, and we cannot understand it. Rin's crew continued their work silently. Every action was deliberate, precise, yet filled with care. Bandages were applied, water handed out, evacuation pods guided to safety. Humans did not gloat. They did not boast. They acted, and that simple act of consistency was terrifying to those who measured power through domination. Above them, alien fleets began to retreat, not because of fear of destruction, but because every act of human mercy created doubt. They questioned their orders, their leaders, their purpose. What was the value of victory if they could not even comprehend mercy as strength? Rin looked toward the stars. "This is only the beginning," he whispered to his crew. "One act of kindness can change many. One life saved can inspire countless others. We may be small, but the ripples we create, they reach farther than any weapon." And in the distance, across the galaxy, those ripples began to spread. Planets long untouched by humanity's presence observed reports of humans saving lives, healing the helpless, and refusing to fight when unnecessary. Entire civilizations began to reconsider their actions, their wars, and their alliances. The alien commanders had learned a terrifying truth. Humans were not just another species. They were unpredictable. They were relentless. And their greatest weapon, their mercy, was more powerful than any fleet or weapon system. Back on the surface, Rin's gaze lingered on the child. "Do not forget this," he said quietly. "One life, one choice, one act. It can change